Hi, welcome to Najo's Recaps. Let's go through episodes 1 and 2 of Empress Key. So this drama begins with the two main love interests, Wang Yu and the Emperor, talk about a woman. The woman gets married to the Emperor, and during the celebration, she glances sadly at Wang Yu, who then walks away. We are taken back to a young Wang Yu. He is still a crown prince, and he feels sad for a group of women who are being dragged away by some men as tribute to Yuan. In the commotion, we are introduced to Nyang, a young girl who, like the others, is part of the tribute. Later that night, the young prince frees the captives, but they are discovered and killed by the men in charge. Nyang's mother gives her a ring, tells her father is alive, and dies. Days later, she is almost run over by a man while looking for her father, and this man takes her home that night, where she begs him to take her in. I will admit, it did seem kind of odd to me that she wanted to stay with the man who almost ran her over with his horse, but turns out she overheard a conversation between the man and her mother's killer about the women who were supposed to be taken as tribute, and this made her want to stay, so I guess it's for revenge. From here, she calls herself Xinyang, which roughly translates to the jackal, and that's what she's known as. So for this video and the subsequent videos, I'm gonna refer to her as Key, pronunciation problems. She hides her identity as a girl, which to me is odd. I mean, how can you look at that face and tell me you don't know that's a girl? 13 years pass by, and she becomes one of Wang Ko's trusted men. She makes illegal soul deliveries for him, and uses the money to buy back women who were taken as tribute to the Yuan. Wang Yu grows to be a prince who appears to be more interested in bar fights than the affairs of the kingdom. There have been some shady things going on. He knows who is behind them, he just needs proof, and the fights are excuses for him to investigate. The one behind these things is the king of Shenyang. He is the man who almost killed Qi with his horse, and he has his eyes on becoming the king of Koryu. A tip by an anonymous helper makes Wang Yu head to Inju under the guise of fighting the jackal. He meets and challenges the jackal to an archery match, to which he wins. After the match, Qi is warned by one of Wang Ko's servants to stay away from them, as they may be from the censorate, their version of the FBI, I guess. Some days later, he's about to receive information from a messenger, but the messenger is killed by an assassin. This incident causes Wang Yu and Wang Ko to suspect that they each have spies in their camps. To find the spy, Wang Ko asks Qi to get close to Wang Yu through a staged attack. He then comes up with a plan to use Qi to trick Wang Yu into a trap and frame him for soul trafficking. Of course, Wang Yu receives an anonymous tip-off with correct information that it's a trap and catches Qi red-handed with the salt. So let me break this down. The spy on Wang Ko's side is Qi. She's the anonymous informant who keeps giving Wang Yu tips. There's, however, an unidentified spy for Wang Ko in Wang Yu's camp. That night, the real spy shows himself and tells her to kill Wang Yu. Qi sees through this, obviously knows it's a test, and reveals her identity as the anonymous informant to Wang Yu with his headband as proof. He gave his headband to the anonymous informant in exchange for a red headband, which he always wears. So I'm just going to assume that it's not far-fetched. She knew Wang Yu was from the censorate because, the headband thing. They lay a trap for the real spy and catch him. His message for Wang Ko is swapped, and she returns to tell him that his spy betrayed him. Wang Ko orders Qi to get rid of ledgers, evidence of his crime, and she gives them to Wang Yu. So as mentioned earlier, Wang Ko has his eyes on being the king of Koryu, but Wang Yu comes with incriminating evidence. It's not enough to get him killed, but it is enough to make the old king abdicate in favor of Wang Yu. While all this is going on, a man, Commander Qi, receives news that his wife and daughter are dead. This man was seen earlier holding a ring identical to the one Qi's mother gave her, so it's safe to say he could be her dad. I don't know, he looks like a sweet old man. Qi and her men get into some trouble and they end up beaten and arrested. She's released and finds out that one of her men stole the commander's pouch. In it, she finds the identical ring and pieces it all together. I mean, what are the odds that the pouch you happen to steal contains your dad's ring? Am I right? Anyways, she decides to take an exam and be recruited as one of the commander's men so she can get closer to him. Commander Key has been charged with the safe escort of the exiled brother of the Yuan Emperor. We finally meet Togon, the exiled brother of the Yuan Emperor. He looks scared. He looks like he's about to pee his pants. And he's not wrong to be scared because pretty much everyone wants him dead and he knows it. The regent back at Yuan wants to use his death as an excuse to wipe Koryu out, hence his exile. Wang Ko wants him dead just so he can blame Wang Yu and seize power in Koryu. Because Togon knows something is up, he's been slowing down the procession as best as he can. That night, he fakes illness and manages to sneak out. So, I love how right from the onset, we have a fair idea of the origin stories of the principal characters. I think this will help us understand why they make the decisions they make, and possibly any future character developments we may see. And so begins one of my favorite love triangles in K-drama history. Till next time, thanks for watching.